Across the globe, on any given day, thousands of Boeing 737s are in the air. It's the backbone of countless airlines, a familiar silhouette against the sky, connecting cities and continents. The latest iteration, the 737 MAX, was meant to carry that legacy for decades to come, representing the pinnacle of a design that has served the world for over half a century. But imagine this. Behind closed doors, in high-level meetings far from the public eye, the clock is already ticking on the MAX. The jet you see flying all over the world might already be on its way to becoming history. That's right, its replacement is currently under development. This isn't just a distant theoretical concept, it's a strategic priority being discussed at the highest levels of the world's largest aerospace company. And here's where the story gets truly compelling. The first concrete clues about this future aircraft don't come from a flashy announcement or a leaked blueprint. They come from a series of discreet, yet significant meetings. Boeing executives have been in talks with one of the most legendary names in aviation propulsion, Rolls-Royce. The subject? Not just an upgrade, but a brand new generation of engines, purpose-built for a next-generation, single-aisle aircraft. This partnership signals a fundamental shift, a move away from the old, and a leap towards something entirely new. But what will this new plane look like? And more importantly, why is Boeing already planning to replace a jet that's still considered new? The answers reveal a story of incredible engineering, intense competition, and the immense pressure to define the future of flight. The 737 MAX only entered service in 2017. In the world of aviation, where airframes often fly for 30 years or more, that's practically brand new. So why would Boeing already be moving on? To understand, we have to look back. Not just a few years, but over 5 decades. The answer is actually pretty simple. The 737 itself is built on an airframe that first flew in 1967. The original baby Boeing was designed for short regional routes. But over the decades, it's been stretched, upgraded, and pushed to its absolute limits. The 737 Classic series in the 80s made it a true workhorse. The next generation, or NG series in the late 90s, introduced a new wing, a modern cockpit, and greater range, making it a direct competitor to Airbus's new A320. With each evolution, Boeing's engineers performed miracles, keeping the venerable design relevant. But stretching a design has consequences. The original 737 sat very low to the ground, a feature that made servicing it at smaller airports easy. However, as engines became larger and more efficient, fitting them under that low wing became a monumental challenge. With the MAX, engineers had to move the larger LEAP engines forward and higher on the wing, a change that fundamentally altered the plane's aerodynamics and led to the need for corrective software. And that brings us to the unavoidable part of the story: the multiple controversies and tragic safety issues surrounding the MAX. The 2 fatal accidents, the subsequent 20-month global grounding, and the intense scrutiny of its design and certification process dealt a devastating blow to Boeing's reputation and finances. It became clear that the 737 airframe, after so many modifications, had been pushed as far as it could go. Boeing needs something fresh, not just for the market, but to restore confidence and reset its legacy. This new jet is meant to be that fresh start. It represents a monumental shift in philosophy from incremental updates to a clean sheet design. Think of it like this. For 50 years, Boeing has been renovating and adding extensions to the same house. Now they're planning to tear it down and build a brand new, state-of-the-art skyscraper in its place. A clean sheet aircraft starts with a blank piece of paper, free from the constraints of a 1960s design. It allows engineers to incorporate the latest advancements in aerodynamics, materials like carbon composites, and integrated systems from day one. The discussions with Rolls-Royce are the key. They're likely centered around Rolls-Royce's UltraFan engine architecture. This geared turbofan design allows for a much larger fan diameter, dramatically improving fuel efficiency by over 25% compared to first-generation turbofans. A new airframe can be designed with taller landing gear specifically to accommodate these massive, ultra-efficient engines, something the 737 could never do. This isn't just about tweaking the old design, it's a complete reimagining of the single-aisle jet, aimed squarely at reclaiming the market from Airbus and its hugely successful A320neo family, particularly the long-range A321XLR. which currently has no direct Boeing competitor. For airlines, this translates to lower fuel costs and the ability to open new, longer routes. For passengers, it means a quieter, more comfortable cabin. And for the planet, it promises a significant reduction in emissions. A fictionalized quote from an industry analyst might sound something like this: "Boeing isn't just building a plane, they're rebuilding trust." This new aircraft has to be revolutionary in its efficiency and performance, but fundamentally conservative and redundant in its safety architecture. It's their chance to show the world they've learned their lessons and are ready to lead again. Now here's what's fascinating. For years, whenever the topic of a new Boeing jet comes up, many aviation fans have begged the company to bring back one legendary aircraft, the Boeing 757. Nicknamed the Pocket Rocket, the 757 was famous for its incredible performance, able to take off from short runways and climb like a fighter jet. It had the perfect combination of range and capacity to dominate transatlantic routes and transcontinental flights in the US, creating a market segment all its own. When production ended in 2004, it left a gap in the market that many feel has never been truly filled. This has led to endless online speculation and fan-made concepts for a 757 MAX or a 757 Plus, a modern take on a beloved classic. But realistically, that's not how Boeing operates. Reviving a design from the 1980s, even with new engines and avionics, would mean inheriting old manufacturing processes, outdated materials, science, and aerodynamic compromises. It would be another renovation, not the skyscraper they need to build. They aren't likely to recycle an old name. They want a brand new program that signals a bold leap forward. This could even mean exploring more radical designs. For years, Boeing and NASA have been testing concepts like the transonic truss-braced wing, which features exceptionally long, thin wings supported by struts. This design could offer unprecedented fuel efficiency, but it's a huge technological leap. Whether they go for a more conventional design or something truly revolutionary, it will be a new name for a new era. At the end of the day, a new Boeing airliner is always exciting. It represents billions in investment, a decade or more of development, and a high-stakes gamble for market supremacy. This isn't just about a new product. It's about the future of one of the most important companies on Earth. Will it truly replace the 737 MAX and finally close the book on that historic yet troubled lineage? And will it have the performance and efficiency to finally offer a true rival to the Airbus A321XLR that's been dominating the lucrative middle of the market? Only time will tell. We are likely still years away from an official launch, with a potential entry into service in the mid-2030s. But the pieces are moving, the partnerships are forming, and the race for the next generation single-aisle aircraft has officially begun. But now we want to hear from you. What do you think? Is a clean sheet design the only way forward for Boeing? Should they have just found a way to bring back the legendary 757? And what would you name this new aircraft? Drop your thoughts, theories, and name suggestions in the comments below. This is a conversation we'll be following for years to come, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for all the latest updates on this developing story and more deep dives into the world of aviation.